without your smart mouth, drawing me in and you kicking me out. Got my head spinning, no kidding, I can't pin you down. What's going on in that beautiful mind? I'm on your magical mystery ride, and I'm so dizzy, don't know what it means, but I'll be alright. My hands underwater, but I'm breathing fine. You're crazy and I'm out of my mind. 'Cause all of me loves all of you. I love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning, even when I lose and win. 'Cause I give you all of me, and you give me all of you. Oh. How many times do I have to tell you? Even when you cry and you're beautiful too. The world keeps beating you down. I'm around through every move. You're my downfall, you're my muse, my worst distraction, my rhythm and blues. Can't stop singing, it's ringing in my head for you. My head's underwater, but I'm breathing fine. You're crazy and I am out of my mind. 'Cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you.
You might see me in a Lambo, camel snapback, Rambo, 500 horses, Django, 2-2 chicken, Nando. You might see me in a Rari, old school fella, Atari. It's a new dance, no tango. Anywhere I go, I make the gang go. Festa, festa, festa. Anywhere I go, I make the gang go. Festa, festa, festa. Anywhere I go, I make the gang go. It's me and distortion. Ending careers, abortion. Do not approach, caution, cause we're taking everything, no portion. We're in our own lane, M1, 10 man, one bottle, you're on them ones. It's a new dance, no tango. Anywhere I go, I make the gang go. Festa, festa, festa. Anywhere I go, I make the gang go. Festa, festa, festa. Anywhere I go, I make the gang go. I do things major, you're irrelevant, pager. I'm a maverick, saber. You man are bankrupt, phaser. Free of me is essential. Stay gassed up, petrol. It's the new dance, no tango. Anywhere I go, I make the gang go. Festa, festa, festa. Anywhere I go, I make the gang go. Festa, festa, festa. Anywhere I go, I make the gang go. Anywhere I go, I make the gang go.
Ladies and gentlemen, an impromptu live stream, I'm afraid. Let's just get the right screens up. Who's in the chat? Eunice, Darren, Shavite, Taz, Shadesh, Wendy. Who else? Colin, Tutu Chicken Nando. All good, mate. All good, Colin. He's doing an impromptu live stream. But why not? Get something off my chest. Bear with me, bear with me. Let more people join. Actually, let's bring that over here. There you go. Lovely. Put that there. And then you can bring that there. So, people, it is Tuesday. And I have had a brilliant visit from my friend Mark. Mark is visiting from Thailand. He is a former solicitor and he's moved there, built a beautiful property, swimming pool he's putting in now, absolutely gorgeous. Mark Ashton is asking, Manny Sinder, what's your favourite flavour milkshake? What? Is that the right type of question to ask another adult male? I mean, a bit odd. But since you asked, I shall reply in courtesy. If I was to choose vanilla, perhaps chocolate or banana. I mean, who sells milkshakes nowadays? It's that probably Burger King or McDonald's, right? They're the only ones. That is the last time I've bought a milkshake from. Probably while I was driving to wherever I was going. Anyway, it's a silly question. So what I wanted to get off my chest, I was reading some financial reports and it just occurred to me how frigging stupid the lefties are. I mean, if you were to group political minds in the UK up, I would say the most ignorant people are the lefties. And they are not that different from immigrants that come over. I know people are going to say he's racist. I'm not. You've got to listen to this with a political, economic, financial mind. The way it works and the reason why the West became extremely wealthy was because people were earning, people were working, people were setting up businesses, they were employing people. And then those people that were employed were given wages, which they would go out and spend with other businesses, give to each other, and that type of thing. But what the lefties are happy to do is bring immigrants over, right? Fine, there are reasons to bring immigrants over. Of course there is. However, not all immigrants want to come over and work. They're happy to just live off benefits, right? I'm not judging. But the thing is, if you have more people or enough people living off benefits than there is sufficient people earning, i.e. paying tax to pay for those benefits, what's going to happen to the country? What's going to happen to the country? It's going to go pear-shaped. So as we are getting more and more immigrants in, and like I said, there are some good reasons to have immigrants. I'm not saying that there's not. But as we get more and more immigrants in of the wrong caliber,
i.e. who are just not working, not earning, not creating money, and just living off benefits, and sometimes costing more than just benefits. Everybody, even taxpayers, are going to become poorer, and the state becomes bigger, and eventually it all collapses. Why do you think socialist lefty countries like Venezuela, Chile, why do they collapse? Why do they go pear-shaped? It's because the state, communist, socialist, lefty orchestra is making it go a bit funny. And it's not racist to actually think like this. It's, you know, financial traders and investors are horrified at what's going on in Britain. It's not like the 60s and the 70s where the Indians or the Sikhs and they were coming over and immediately getting jobs in the textile industry, in the metal foundry industry, in the retail industry. It's not a case of that. And I suppose there was some economic reason to bring over so many immigrants at the time because there was more jobs. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but this chap is saying, why should they become UK slaves? I don't really like teaching economics 101, but I'm going to do it because it's the right thing to do. So, hi, Raindrop. So the way it works is, if you think you want to come over, I'm not saying you, I'm talking on a third party. So you want to come over and live off the British system and you don't want to work. Well, where does the money come from to pay for the NHS? Where does the money come from to fund the buses that you catch or the car that you might buy? It comes from taxpayers' money. But if people like what you're referring to don't work, then there's no tax to pay. And as a consequence, you don't get the privileges that you think these immigrants will get. Do you understand? You have to have more hard-working earners, taxpayers, than you do with cabbages. Sorry, maybe that's the wrong term. But what I mean is those people that don't work. So you need to pick up a book, you need to read, you need to find out how the system runs, how it works, and what it survives on. Taxpayers and people that work are the backbone of any country, especially this country. If you shared a locked jail cell for 10 years and had no other choice but to pick either Rat Boy or Respect, who'd it be? Mark Ashton, that's funny. Who would I pick, Rat Boy or Respect? Wow, that's a difficult question. To be honest, I've only ever conversed with Respect. Charmed, hello, good afternoon. I've only ever conversed with Respect via a live stream. I don't think I've conversed with him face to face. Whereas I've done both with Omar. Look, it's not a lie. Neither of these people are really my type of people, and I'm not their type of person. We live in completely different worlds and made from very different cloths. So I would prefer neither, but I don't know who I'd pick. I'm spoiled for choice there. So what we need to do, we need to step up a few notches. We need to realize that even though it's to some degree a good thing to do in bringing some immigrants over, but if those immigrants don't work, then they are significantly weakening the country, because more non-workers, i.e. useless people, we have comforted by the lefties, the benefit state, the harder it is for those of us that do want this country to go forward, that do work, that do pay taxes. Mark Ashton, what are you doing with these questions? Here's a better question. A world ruled by communism or Islam, which one would you prefer if you were your only two options? Now, I'm not religious. I don't favor any religion. So any religious dictatorship would be on the very bottom of any type of system. So I would have to very grudgingly choose from the two, if I had to choose, communism. But to be honest, there's not much difference between communism and a religious dictatorship such as Islam. They're both collectivized systems. So I always call collectivized systems barnyard systems. And the reason why I do that is for a very few people to run the masses, they have to collectivize you. So imagine a group of you being picked up and thrown into a bucket of shit. And those who own the bucket of shit get to throw down laws at everybody in the bucket of shit because they're being collectivized and put in there. Now, if you have individual power, then you will not be in the same bucket of shit as everybody else. You would have at least your own bucket, if not a nice box, because you have individual power. You are your own being. And both religious dictatorships and commune, so collectivism. But money doesn't work. What are you talking about? Money's a leech. What are you talking about? I'm self-employed, you donut. Trading is leeching from society. It has no value. That's ludicrous. You don't even know what I trade. And I trade with my own money. I'm not associated with any trading house where I take investors' money. Anyway, so Islam or communism, or sorry, religious dictatorship or communism, it's the same thing. The only difference is what are the rules and how are the rules created. How they are implemented through collectivism is exactly the same. No, Charmed, he beyond atheism doesn't work. And it's people like him. Financial sector adds no value. Well, you're not completely wrong, but it does add value, obviously, because it creates millions and millions of jobs worldwide. You know, so it does add value, but in the way you're probably stating it, that's not here or there. You're a website designer. Well done, Beyond Atheism. Eunice is asking, Manny Sinder, do you have a business-related degree or do you have a humanitarian degree? I have, my degree was in marketing and law. I started doing mathematical engineering. I did a year of that, and it was so boring, really boring. And I couldn't. I mean, the thing with degrees like marketing and law and these type of things, you can switch off in the lectures, or what have you. But with mathematical engineering, you had to be constantly on the game, constantly being asked questions, always calculating. And in those days, you couldn't really have a calculator, and you would come away from back-to-back lectures and work groups completely exhausted. And even for someone like me, it was a bit too much. So I switched. Hi, Baba Yaga. Raindrop is asking me, would love your insights into how people are stuck by mental delusions and psychology of poverty mindset. Well, you've answered it there. People are stuck. People are stuck and repeating patterns. And you've answered your own question. You're an intelligent guy. I'll give you that. See, people don't realize how important your childhood was, from everything, not just what your personality is today, in how you are able to think, how you are able to overcome obstacles, how you perceive the world. And sometimes trauma, even in adult, in adulthood can create and change and develop your mind either positively or negatively. And unfortunately, the more impoverished background you have, i.e. the underclass, the more likely you are to be stuck in patterns. How to break free from patterns, childhood effects? Okay, that's a very good question. For the average person, they need therapy. For the braver person, they can try things like this. First and foremost, you should meditate. And the reason why you should meditate is because it quietens your mind. And what I mean by that, it allows you to think without your mind being too erratic. So by meditating, and you can just make a humming sound and just concentrate on your humming, it will really calm you down and calm your brain down. Because if you've had some traumatic events in your life, and it could be from somebody slapping you out of the blue, it could be anything. I mean, what is trauma is depends on who the person is. But my point is, what you do, you need to sit down and quiet your mind, and then you need to go over which episodes in your life was very traumatic, and you need to sit inside those emotions. Let me tell you what I mean. Now, I was speaking to an old lady who was very much left distraught by her husband passing away. She was really lost, and just started talking to her. And I had just done a course on past life regression, and so I kind of knew about these things. So I kind of said, well, she said, I can't cope with it because I can't even bear to think about it. I keep myself really busy. And I said to her, what you should do is really sit down, think about what happened, which obviously going to make you sad. But instead of running away and trying to distract yourself, sit inside that emotion, inside that event, and ask yourself, what was that event there to teach you? And then after a few times, you will kind of become more climatized to that horrific event, and then you yourself can move on. Now, the more trauma you've had, the more bad episodes in your life you've had, the more times you're going to have to do that. It's not an easy thing to do. It's a different type of bravery, Raindrop. To do things like this, you have to be truly brave. People think being brave is, hitting somebody or, trying to do whatever. That's not bravery. Bravery is being able to challenge yourself, and that's how you challenge yourself. Ah, yes, quite right, Raindrop. In Buddhism, they do call it peeling back the layers of onion. Yeah, absolutely. Britain has a big financial sector. It makes the elites rich. Our economy is really poor for the average guy. I disagree with that. It doesn't just make the elite rich. Many of us who work in the financial sector are not elites. So that's not true. Britain and any developed country, Western developed country, is like anything. You get out whatever you put in. But sometimes, because people haven't received the bonuses that they wanted in life, then they think the whole system is corrupt. It's not. What about all the chavs on the right who don't work and blame immigrants for not having a job? On the right, I don't know any chavs on the right, because but let's just say you're right. There they are. But those who don't work and are happy living on the state, the benefits, then I include them too. Because we need more people working. I think the ratio is 80-20 or 90-10. I haven't done this type of research for a while, because, and I'll just recap for everyone watching, if we don't have enough people working and paying taxes, then how are all the people who are just frigging lazy and just taking benefits and the free services going to be able to do that? And the government pays for these services through tax. Many people who work in the financial sector are middle class. Well, yes, you have to be educated to a certain level to work in the financial sector. And the financial sector is not like the government or the charity sector. You can employ whoever you want. And if you are running a business, you the best people to fill that role, where the government is just filling quotas, and getting a job in a government local authority is the easy bit. Getting sacked is virtually impossible, and that includes the NHS as well. What's Raindrop saying? You're right. Take the break. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I agree, Raindrop. Most jobs don't have any political ideology. They just hate the police and immigrants. Well, that's a social class issue, right? So if they're criminals or former criminals hate the police, generally speaking. What does that say? And big corps own other things that can give that position to you. They set up deals that you cannot compete at. Agreed. The financiers stuck up talent from our top unis, and they add very little value to society. They would be better working on infrastructure in the north, etc. Oh no, that's completely wrong. I mean, look, if you have had a good education and you can structure a sentence and you're earning a fair bit of money, you're obviously going to have a little bit of pride in yourself. What's wrong with that? I encourage people to have pride. I don't encourage people to have arrogance, but self-confidence is good. I mean, I'm confident, but I'm generally quite shy at the same time. I know that kind of seems like an oxymoron, but it's true. I'm a little bit shy, but I don't lack confidence. Look at Germany, little financial, amazing economy. No. Germany is known for its engineering. I mean, I had this giant German water tank, fish tank, and even that was made like German cars. I mean, the number one export for Germany are their cars. They make the best cars in the world. Mercedes, BMW are the two best brands of cars in the world. Now, you go buy a Ferrari, you go buy a Lamborghini, right? It's like a Ford. In fact, there's better safety in a Ford and a Renault than there is in a Lamborghini. Fair enough, they make it look pretty. Of course they do. And they have a little, but you can't beat German cars. Hi, Aurora, Dawn, how are you? Sorry, my time. Oh, where did that go? Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Mr. Singh, these are not humans, but animals. Joseph Goebbels, after seeing segregated Jews in Polish ghetto. These aren't people, these are animals. Trump on refugees on. Well, there's no context in that. I mean, if someone like Trump had said that, and I haven't seen that quote, had said that, he may have just seen the latest rape statistics by Mexican immigrants. I don't know Joseph Goebbels said that, so I'm going to have to take your word for it. But Joseph Goebbels was a nasty piece of work. We know that. So True say Mahoney saying, I am confident but hate attention. I'm not a big fan of attention, to be honest, but sometimes things have to be said. Even hate happy birthday being sung to me. You sound like a funny bloke. Yeah, we know who Joseph Goebbels is, Mr. Singh. I mean, you're preaching to the choir here. Big up to the real Sikhs, not pigeons. So, yeah, I mean, where's the evidence of Trump saying that? You have to see the context, right? I love it how certain communities or groups now, if you love your country, you're racist. If you say, well, that's not working, oh, you're racist. Well, I don't think such and such should be taught at schools. You're racist. Well, I don't think religions should be taught to children. You're an Islamophobe. You're just about to say something, and they say Islamophobe. You haven't even said anything. Yeah, but you're racist and an Islamophobe. And people just walking around think they understand politics and they understand how the economy works, how financials work. It's ludicrous. Did you watch the massacre that took? Yeah, no. Most white national, but Guy Speaker's Corner, you're racist. If you go back and watch all your comments over the past few streams, you are one of the most racist people on the internet. And here's the other thing: people who see racism all the time are themselves racist, because it takes a very narcissistic tendency to be able to spot it. Because when you criticize others, you're criticizing yourself. Think of it that way. Of course, Eunice, you're right. I'm happy for Islamophobe, racist, not all to be overused, because when you don't want to be called something, when you shy away from using a word, it gives it power, right? So this is why whole thing about Tan was that I didn't want the black community in Britain to be, how can I say, weakened by the N word. I wanted the black community to own it, but they're not ready yet, so you have to respect that. Words have power. Your comments come across as racist, Go Speakers Corner, I must say. That's my opinion. Word Spartan's racist. What? Well, the left are just clowns. They from the full political spectrum, the lefties are the most ignorant people. They actually go around saying we want to make the EU, the UK, and America into a lefty commie socialist system outright, without even being able to understand, by opening up the floodgates and bringing in just people that just eat. That's all they do. They just eat. They don't offer anything to the economy. Will eventually mean that there can be no services, because it takes taxpayers' money to give you the free services that you want. Go to countries like go to countries that don't pay tax. So India, okay, India pays a fair bit of tax now, but say a country like Pakistan, Venezuela, which other countries? Most of the countries in Africa, no one hardly pay tax there. And what do they get? They die of diseases that were eradicated in the West years and years ago just with plumbing. That's how the West eradicated most of these diseases that poor people die of in third world countries, by plumbing. And these lefties want to bring that shitty system into this country. What for? What are you going to gain from it? And that is what you call a mental block, not being able to comprehend something so simple. Beyond atheism, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm saying there's actually good reasons to bring immigrants in sometimes in certain economies, but there's never a good reason to bring in those immigrants that are not going to work. Can you not see that? Have to be the biggest problem when it comes to elites is corruption. You're right, Aurora Dawn. The biggest racists are the left. Agreed. I don't know what you mean, Cam Murphy, there. In the US, there's a difference between the left and progressives. Progressives are the radical left. Fair enough. South Asia and plumbing before everyone. Indus Valley civilization. You still going on about the Indus Valley civilization? Well, if that is true, they haven't got it anymore. Have you seen the state of River Ganges? Sophia Lewis is in the house. governments have used Muslim and Islam for their agenda. Exactly. And I did say in the Friday show that the Muslim community are not the enemy. They themselves are pawns in this whole agenda to weaken politically the West and to make it poorer. Was Tan racist? Well, he said he was racist. Go Speaker's Corner. So, you know, and his actions were racist. Have been arrested. More than 200 climate change activists have been arrested. Good, for blocking roads in central London amid protests aimed at shutting down the capital. Damn hippies. Tan was amazing. Sophia is a troublemaker. Okay, what do we have now? That if Raj robbed your house and later became homeless, begging on the streets, would you have mercy on him and give him a can of beans? Would I? Well, obviously, I'd be charitable to him regardless. I mean, Raj is not going to become homeless. I mean, but let's just go with it. I mean, I'd probably be pushed, and he'd have to come and live with me for a bit. I wouldn't let him live stream though as punishment. Trump wants to put all illegals in the sanctuary cities. Now the Dems are screaming. I read that, Baba Yaga. It made me laugh. Let's go. Where did you get into trading? Have you done other businesses? When did I? About 10. What year are we in? About 10 years ago. But I was an investor before that. So I'm just answering beyond atheism's question. When did you get into trading? Have you done as business? I went full time into trading about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. But I was an investor before that. My granddad, he was a big investor. He taught me a lot about investing with banks and all that stuff. So my granddad was very well educated. Even for Western standards for his age group, so he kind of knew a lot of little investment tricks. My father was rather good. He was good with various things, and I just picked it up. I had a lot of motivation from my mum. She would encourage me to do certain things, and I have a very how can I say? I have the type of attitude that I can achieve anything. That's my attitude. Whether it's realistic or not, it's never going to stop me trying. And but I've reached a lot, you know, I've achieved a lot of my goals in life. There's only one outstanding, which hopefully will be sorted out this year. I know I'm not going to tell you I can't. My Thai Nai Cook. Hello. You guys are typing fast, man. Or am I just talking slow? Where has it gone? I was shocking attitudes from grandchildren of the empire calling Jallianwala Bagh an action of self-defense. General Dyer's granddaughter had the nerve to say things have been exaggerated. Look, I'm not going to go on about Jallianwala Bagh. I've said what I need to say during the live stream. Udham Singh came over and got revenge. You know, we don't need this mentality. The British Indian, British Sikh community, we don't need this mentality where we are felt or being made to feel that we're licking our wounds. Udham Singh came over and sorted that out for us. It's as simple as that. You know, let's move on. Jessica Kennedy asking, what is the percentage of Muslims that are unemployed? I don't know, but I want to know what percentage of immigrants are employed. I mean, look at cities like Bradford, which is a highly populated Muslim area. You know, I think the majority do claim benefits if I've read the statistics right. But now, Raj is easy to look after. Just give him a couple of bits. Iros, please don't swear like that. Oh, I'm gonna start. Yeah, there's no need to swear. Try to calm it, please. Iros, these guys supported Tan through his racism, but called me racist. I said most white nationalists. So I said to you to go back over the last 30, 40 streams that you comment on and read your own comments. Go Speaker's Corner. That's what I said. You come across very racist. You're obsessed with racism. That's a better way of putting it. You are obsessed with pointing out racism. I would do something a bit more interesting with your life. Oh. What have I missed? Jupiter, hello. Basically, I was saying that bringing in immigrants that don't work and contribute zero to the economy, but then continue to expect free services like good roads, transport, and NHS and what have you, is ludicrous. Because you have to have more hard-working, actually working people which earn money, create wealth, and then pay taxes. And it's those taxes that pay benefits, pay for the NHS. And that these immigrants are being facilitated by the lefties, idiots who don't understand economy, politics, and finance, are being facilitated by the lefties. And I don't think it's a completely bad idea that if we find an island in the middle of the Atlantic and get all these people to go live together, but not in a bad way, give them all the farming equipment and say, there you go, farm, you know, and just ponder over the term, reap what you sow. So let them grow their own food, understand what it takes to even grow an acre of food. Eye for an eye creates the whole world blind. That's a very good point. I'm going to touch upon that in a minute. Yes, because the lefties want. Yeah, lefties are, yes. And the problem is, some of the most intelligent people, I was going to say are lefty wankers, but what I really mean is some of the most intelligent people are socialist stroke commies, right? I can kind of have an intellectual conversation with a socialist because it's quite easy to show lefties, generally speaking, you know, the flaws in their outlook. But communists, I mean, China states it's a communist country, but it's not really run like a communist country. Some parts of it is, but you know, it's just slave labor. China is a slave labor camp. If you seen my car, you would want to stay in it. What are we at primary school comparing each other's car? What are you going to say next? My dad's harder than your dad's. What? What? Anyway, let's move on. Go Speaker's Corner. Move on. We need to vet immigrants we have coming in. If they have nothing to contribute, then on your bike. Absolutely. Old school Matt boy, that's common sense. You must be racist. If you're not a racist, you must be an Islamophobe. If you're not an Islamophobe, you must be a racist nationalist. Obviously, you're not. The government, beyond everything, the government should give me money. If I don't want to work, I demand it. What? Let women and weak men work as slaves. Men like me need to get paid. Men like you grow some confidence, create a CV, apply for a job, and just try something going to interviews. You never know where it's going to take you. Commies are rabid in their ideology. The millions of dead are just a sigh. What? I wouldn't let Muslims in. They don't integrate and they sponge off the system. Well, the Muslims do have an issue with integration. That is true. And yeah, large numbers of them, large percentage of them do claim benefits. We know that. But this is the thing. I mean, why would you let immigrants, whether they're Christian, Jew, Muslim, Sikh, I mean, whatever they are, black, brown, orange, purple, why would you let immigrants in that are not going to contribute to the economy? Unless you are purposely trying to weaken the country. So with Theresa May, the question is not Theresa May, not Theresa May. It's not, are you working for the British people? Because she's not. The question is, who are you working for? Theresa May, who are you working for? Because you are not working for the people. And Theresa will go down in history as the most evil, corrupt, and inept prime minister this country has ever seen. And from years from now, what they will try to do in the media, like they did with Margaret Thatcher, the creator of the council tax, years from now, they will try to paint Theresa May as some kind of goddess. So it's up to you to make sure that people never forget. Sikh Hindus are usually hesitant in taking government benefits because we believe in the concept of karma. Yeah, agreed, Raindrop. Can we kick chavs out of the country who don't work? There's certainly an argument for that, Ghost Speaker's Corner. If we had IQ tests, I racist and Ghost would be screwed. Taz Devil, become a boss and just order the people about to make you money. I don't think some people should be bosses, to be honest. I don't think they have the integrity, honesty, and leadership qualities. Merit-based immigration system, yeah. Vote bank. Huh? Blah blah's in the house. Jupiter saying there is an agenda, get a trade or skill and become self-employed. That's my job. And that's all you have to do. Jupiter. Well done. All you have to do is go through a period of, I don't know, either 6 weeks, 12 months to gain a skill. That's all you have to do. And then most skills that you can gain in an hour, in a couple of months, like bricklaying, skimming, which is plastering, some construction work, you can actually then travel the world and use. Like, become a bricklayer, go to China, stay there, you'd love it. Not you, Jupiter, I'm just saying generally. Who pays keeps all the... Ricardo says, Manny, what do you think about European voting? Has Farage split the independent vote on purpose? I want to say no, but I'm afraid that that's probably right. Exactly what he's done. I'm not happy with Farage. I haven't been happy with Farage since he resigned after Brexit. Complete clown. Nationalists aren't racist. That's ridiculous. Yes, Myers cut. Anyone that calls nationalists racist are just idiots. Full stop. How come no one mentioned Tommy Robinson being cocked up at the Brexit? What do you mean, cocked up at the Brexit rally? I don't know what you mean there, mate. Might be more. Why am I reading these comments? Why? If Theresa May pushes Brexit through no deal, she will be a hero. Yeah, indirectly. Babiaga asking, Manny, does Britain give small businesses loans, especially for immigrants? When you say Britain gives small business loans, I mean the government doesn't give loans to people as such. The way the British government and the EU government and pre-Trump American, okay, let's leave America out of it. The way these guys give money, the establishment, is not it's not like how the Indian government do it, right? So the Indian government, for example, they would pay off a certain number of loans in a certain state to prevent a certain industry from collapsing, say agriculture in a certain state. Okay, and you can see the positiveness in that. The way Britain and the EU do it is to save an industry. They would buy things like bonds. They would buy things like shares. They would um, do things like change tax codes, apply tax codes, or take away tax codes. So, say, for example, the property market was about to collapse. In the last 10, 15 years, the property market in the UK, most people don't even know this, the last, since 2006, 2007, the UK property market was about to collapse at least 3-4 times. So every time the government came out and said, help to buy scheme, so much, you know, either increasing or lowering the stamp duty, and a few other tricks that they played, you know, managed to change a certain industry. But the property market is the backbone of the British economy. 80% of the GDP some years ago was in one way or another intertwined with the property market. So when the property market goes down, the whole economy goes down. So how do we sort this out with bringing, you know, the wrong type of immigrants into the UK? Well, first and foremost, I don't think we need any more immigrants. There's definitely more immigrants and people. So the British community, British population together, whether they're immigrants or not, there's more willing people than there are jobs, it would seem. But obviously the state, i.e. those who are leeching off, no, that's the wrong term, because some people genuinely need benefits, but inviting work, people that have the ability to work, and then they do not work, then there has to be some kind of process where they are asked to leave and return to their homeland, in my opinion. And so that quota is then freed for more people who are willing to work to come in. And this whole, yeah, and we need to vet people for their security as well, right? Oh, okay. Well, that's my rant thing over. Shall I play a bit of a tune for you? Do you guys want to play a bit of a tune? Okay, let's play some music. Which one shall I play? Let's play this one. So I'm using new equipment at the moment.
I was 5 and he was 6. We rode on horses made of sticks. He wore black and I wore white. He would always win the fight. Bang, bang. He shot me down. Bang, bang. I hit the ground. Bang, bang. That awful sound. Bang, bang. My baby shot
Yes, I am showing my age. Thank you, Aurora. Yes, I am. Blah, blah.
Realign all the stars above my head. Warning signs travel far.
See, your life is
Drink
in the house.
instead on my
See your life.
own. I've known battle scars and worn out beds. Gentle nights and a breeze blows, whispers through Gran Torino.
You might see me in a Lambo, camel snapback, Rambo, 500 horses, Django, 2-2 chicken, Nando. You might see me in a Rari, old school fella, Atari. It's a new.
We're approaching lunar system A00429. All the trash of the universe is gathered there. The problem? Rebellion? Revolt.
Now greetings to the world. Vice of the one big gang still alongside Skrillex. Them for no. Ooh-wee! Ow! We must up the place, turn up the bass and make them all have fun. And we ablaze the fire, make it fun. Then we must up the place, turn up the bass and make some sound. Boy, run. And we will end your week just like a Sunday. We must up the place, turn up the bass and make them all have fun. Relax, ablaze the fire, make it fun. Then we must up the place, turn up the bass and make some sound. Boy, run. And we will end your week just like a Sunday.
In the house. Right, that's enough for that. Little break over. Can we, at the outset, agree that crime is not work? Yes, very true. 72 virgin goats. So, see you live. I understand that you have been doxxed. Very sorry to hear that. Have you at least told the authorities that You may be a target. How do these things work? See alive, Zabida is on her way. Oh, she's traveling, what, to come onto this channel? Or traveling to Netherlands, Iros. Could you clarify? See alive making friends with her enemies because they all have that one enemy in common. Who is the one enemy that everybody has in common, Mr. Singh? Yes, but I changed my number today. Hope I haven't gone to the authority, but I can. Of course, I think you should. Holland. Okay, Iros. Yeah, see alive. I think you should. The biggest gang in the world is the police. That's what they're there for, to protect you. See, the cat can't touch this. What was the other thing I'm making? Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't keep up. I don't know that side of it, Mr. Singh. I don't know whose enemy is what and all that stuff. She says she's going to come to Holland to beat me up. Well, if she said that, then that's all the proof you need, because doxing is only illegal if you have proof that the intent was malicious. Then it's a criminal act. So anyway. All this doxing is getting out of hand on both sides. Agreed, Jupiter. I agree. Yeah. It sounds like cops are the ops. Well, where would we be without the good old police? I mean, I always attack the government and what have you, but you know, at the same time, there are a lot of positives with the government. They do a good job to a certain degree. Obviously, Theresa May. I had a very good friend of mine come and visit me today, and we were talking politics. Obviously, we talk politics. My friends are just as boring as me and serious as me. And he said back in the old days that somebody would have entered her office, put a revolver on her desk, and say, "Prime Minister, do the right thing," and then left. And I thought, well, she should be thrown in prison. I don't think a get out clause like that is good enough. Second referendum, support it. Are you mad? If we have a second referendum, then every single vote ever cast, whether in Parliament or not, we need to have a second and a third vote. Everything. It's ludicrous. Whoever thought that up and whoever agrees with that is a moron. We've already voted. Do you mean Agenda 21, Aurora? Let's have both doxed my phone number and address. I have never doxed. Yeah, doxing is crazy, guys. Wow. Okay, should be okay. Well, if Britain, if UK is so shit, why does the whole world want to come and live here? Why do they want to leave their own beautiful lands, their own amazing perfume aroma streets? Obviously, because it offers more, it offers better. We know that. But then the immigrants then bring over their culture, their way of life. What's that going to add? You think that's going to add better quality? I mean, let me be fair. I studied in a city called Leicester. When you go into Leicester, in the town centre, there are two flagpoles, and there's two on either side. There's two Sikh flags. I think they call it Nishan Saif. And in the middle of the town centre for no reason. And I thought, well, I'm not sure how non-Sikhs feel about that. Is that acceptable? Now, you know, if two Christian crosses went up, wouldn't there be an outcry from certain communities? I don't think anything is being administered as fair. Religion is a problem, unfortunately. Taz Devil is saying, if the EU is so great, then why are there migrants in Calais literally risking their life to get from France to Britain? Exactly. EU is a shithole now, anyway. All cities, even British cities, are becoming shitholes. Look at London. Yes. Two-faced. What? Blah blah saying you're projecting your views to all religions. Well, I have to be fair, blah blah. I'm not pro any religion, to be honest. I'm pro people's freedom to choose if they want to be religious on which religion. But Manny Sinder, for some reason, it feels nice seeing the Union Jack flying high in the wind. Agreed? Because it's our flag. Sikhi is not a religion. Yes, it is. It's a way of life. Still a religion. The flags. Oh, where does that go? The flags, our inspiration to walk on the path of the Sikhi. Well, eye of the beholder. Then thinks of. It does. Not all religions are cut out of the same cloth. Agreed, blah blah. They're not. And the best way to analyze a quality of a religion is analyze the quality of the people that follow it. But I'm going to have a good go at atheists this Friday. Atheists are just religious people in disguise. Yeah, you heard me right. Atheists are religious people in disguise. I'll have a go at them on Friday. What do you think of the cathedral being burnt down? Very sad to see alive. Very sad to see that. Apparently, I'll show that video in a minute, or the article. Apparently, it was arson. Oh, sorry. I retract that statement. Somebody came forward to say it may be arson, but the French TV stopped that person from talking. I'll show that in a second. Mark Ashton, where did you go? Manny Sinder, I bet you used to go to rave parties back in the early 90s. No, I didn't go to a rave until early 20s. I was a good boy growing up. I was a very good boy. I'm from religion should stay out of politics. Agreed. It's personal matter. Agreed. And it should stay as such. We have a judicial system. Agreed. Truth seekers talking some truth. That largely work needs change. Agreed with everything you said there, truth seeker. If we miss the opportunity to sort out UK problems, it would be too late. Exactly, Jupiter. When we are fighting the corrupt system, we are fighting for the next few generations. The elite think it's all going to back to normal. Are you going to have a go at yourself then? I'm not an atheist, blah blah. I'm not an atheist. I'm not religious either. What am I? Can't believe it survived 2 world wars, but not this. Mark, I think Rosman. Good evening, W Bird. Good evening. Bartel. Just pipe down with your second referendum, you lefty nonsense person. Read a book. Educate yourself. Second referendum. Support what? You love you love the boot of a dictatorship on your face. That's what the EU is. It represents the boot stamping on your face, bleeding you dry. If you don't have children, or you don't have nephew and nieces or younger cousins, just think of other people's next few generations. Think logically. Should the power be in the hands of the people, or should the power be in the hands of corrupt, you know what, sitting in deep leather chairs in another country? Dictators, blah blah. What are we talking about? I'm not religious either. I believe in spirituality. I've had some deep spiritual experiences. That's why I'm spiritual. I used to be an atheist. I used to be I was a religious person. Then I became atheist, and then I had my experiences, and I became a spiritual person. So I understand all three aspects of it. So you'll have to be asking me that you don't believe in God, but you think there's a higher power. Well, God and religion are different, right? So a higher power, i.e. God, is not the same as religion. So say, for example, someone who's not religious may have some kind of experience and they go looking for God, but then most likely they're going to come across a religion, and the religion just zaps the spirituality out of them, in my opinion. Manny Sinder, I bet you were a Shabba Ranks fan. Who isn't a Shabba Ranks fan? What did you vote for? No deal. I don't. I voted for Brexit. Obviously, I've got more than 2 brain cells. They all connect like that. Sorry, Bartel, I'm being nasty to you. I don't mean to be. Well, I do a little bit, because you're trying to ruin democracy. But yeah, I'm sure CLI asked me a question up here somewhere. That's it. Oh, might just go to the bottom. Tell us about your spiritual experiences. I've spoken about the spiritual experiences before, maybe some other day. Not really in the mood. Spirituality is definitely important. Religion in our spirituality is extremism. Thank you. Wow, that is a very, very well constructed sentence in your life. Luckily, I have to hold on to spirituality. Indeed. Indeed. Oh yeah, I was going to show you the article about the church burning. I think it was. Bear with me. Oh my God. Oh my God. What? Somebody's created the term Russia-phobia because of the media is attacking Russia. Okay, I'm going to play some little bit of music just so I can find this article. Bear with me. Oh no. Bear with me, people. So demanding. That's enough of that screaming in my ear. So it was a InfoWars article. Oh, for the love of God. Why is this? Fine. Oh my God. Shep Smith cuts off French official for alluding to Islamic arson on Notre Dame Cathedral. I haven't read this, so we're going to watch it for the first time.
On the line with us, a French elected official who is in Paris now. Felipe, what have you seen and what do you know?
Well, I was close to the scene when it happened, and now I left the place because we want to let people work around it. Everybody's really under shock now in France. I would tell you something. It's even if nobody died. I mean, it's like a 9/11. It's a French 9/11, you know, and it's a big shock. I mean, this church was there for more than 850 years. Even the Nazis didn't dare to destroy it. And you need to know that for the past years, we had churches desecrated each and every week in France, all over France. So, of course, you will hear the story about the political correctness, which will tell you that it's probably an accident.
Sir, we're not going to speculate here of the cause of something which we don't know. If you have observations or you know something, we would love to hear it.
No, I'm just telling you something. What you need to be ready.
No, sir, we're not doing that here. Not now.
Okay.
Not on my watch.
Okay.
Felipe Carcente,
okay.
It's very good of you to be here.
There you go. But he made the statement. There was no proof, right? So we can't take it. But I was just showing it to you that I came across that. Those of you who are on my Discord server have access to all the news stories I tend to save. If you are a friend of mine and you haven't been invited, just chase me up, and I'll add you on there. Having said that, I only add people that I trust 100%. Oh, what time is it? Okay, 7:30. Wow. Okay. What shall we do? Okay. I'm gonna play reveal some weird stuff. Bitcoin's doing well. Those who invest in cryptos, I did say a few weeks ago it's looking positive. And what? Sorry. Let's share this application window. Oh, can you see this? Aha. We are in business. Right, watch this, peeps. Okay, what are you guys saying? When do the news? Never want to speculate when it's, yeah, agreed. Blah, blah. I have a feeling it might go down. Yeah, it will go down. They'll make sure of it. Let's play this. So let me put the background of this video in. So this lady is a InfoWars reporter, and she's gone to a kind of conference thing where children transgender children are doing some weird stuff. But anyway, we'll watch the video.
But also the fact that you have kids going to this. So we're going to go undercover. I'm going to gear up and dress up as Rainbow Snatch, and I'm about to go to the 2017 Austin International Drag Festival. This is obviously mature content, and if mature adults want to engage in this behavior and in these activities, that's their right. But when you start dragging kids into this type of culture, taboo activity, that's when it becomes an issue.
Just step up here. You're young and spry. Wow. Show me up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what your children will be wearing in the future. Yeah, this is amazing.
I brought my break too. I just left it in my other pants.
That's as racy as I'm gonna go. Racy as I'm kidding. I'm totally gonna go racier than that. How many days does it take to run a cable under the stage? Apparently more than 2.
She just dropped in for campus, big guys with the smoking campus, but she ain't flying in on a bubble butt. Basically, she a 10 with a bubble butt.
Teach the children. Teach the children. Whew, I'm all about education. I actually do story time with drag queens in Chicago. Right? Yes, family programming. Love it. Yes. And all of the children in the audience can plug their ears. Because I'm just kidding. Trump's our president. We can say whatever we want. Please welcome to the stage, Cunty Hornet. Ladies and gentlemen, Cunty Hornet, one more time.
I've married a boy who'd rather be a girl, but he never curls my toes for me like a boy should do a girl. He's stacked like a boy, but in the booth, why he gonna tack?
You had little boys dressed in drag at this event, and they were watching and participating in what most people would consider mature content.
Can I get
Now, what was most disturbing of all is the main act that closed out before this intermission was he, she, whatever, was rolling around on the ground, jumping around, performing, and essentially the format was to dance around seductively, remove some articles of clothing even, and people give you money, throw dollars at you, like what you would see at a strip club. And this is really disturbing because it's grooming children so that when they become adults, it's all natural and part of it.
You are amazing, and you keep doing you. I'm presenting you with your very own drag pride flag.
It's kind of creepy because it reminds me of when you see those creepy toddler and tiaras performances where you have to subscribe to this culture. That's perfectly fine, but you cross the line when you start dragging children into the middle of it.
Come on, oh there, go take your cabbage, baby, take your cabbage.
They should leave these children alone and let them develop their sexuality on their own in their own time and not be forcing these weird taboo fetishes on them.
Big up InfoWars. Yeah. Big up InfoWars. Oh, I'll do. I'll do. That was weird, huh, guys? Bitcoin, crypto. Don't want to do that. Men with beards carry more germs than dogs with deadly bacteria facial hair. That was in the Daily Mail. I find that a bit weird because I read a report. It was I think it was 2016, perhaps, maybe a little before, that the male beard actually has a natural chemicals to keep it clean. But these guys say not. Let me show you the picture of this article so you can at least look at the article rather than my ugly face. Can you see it? Look. Men with beards carry more germs than dogs, the study reveals. Mail Online reviews new breed of vegan burgers created in a lab. So genetically modified food will basically kill you. Full stop. No two ways about it. Yeah, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Islam on demand. Oh, so this chap said something very interesting about the Nation of Islam. So, Nation of Islam is basically, there's a group that comes to Speaker's Corner, and it's basically African Americans that believe in Islam, and they have their own sect. So this is what this chap said. I think he's the next member of Nation of Islam.
1975, a modern day miracle took place in America. And few people have appreciated or even know about it. In 1975, in a community called the World Community of Islam in the West, headed by a man at that time called Wallace Muhammad. And remind me to mention this same Wallace Muhammad is mentioned in this book, The Autobiography of Malcolm X. Remind me before I leave to mention that, okay? So I'm gonna put this up here. This is the Autobiography of Malcolm X. It's right, put it right there, okay? And Wallace Muhammad. So you remind me, okay? Okay. A miracle in 1975, and what was that? In the community called the World Community of Islam in the West, headed by Wallace Muhammad, the son of Elijah Muhammad, the head of the Nation of Islam, allowed white people to join what was then called before the Nation of Islam. A miracle. Why? Because if anyone understood the theology of the Nation of Islam, this is the group Malcolm X was a part of. This is the group that Malcolm made famous for 12 years as a minister of the Nation of Islam. The theology of the Nation of Islam, listen to me real good. Now, before I say what I'm going to say, anyone here have a weak heart? You might want to excuse yourself. Everybody all right? You want to leave? You be okay? I want to make a disclaimer. I have nothing to do. I'm not responsible. Okay. In the Nation of Islam, part of the theology was, officer, what I'm about to say is history. I don't believe this no more, okay? I don't want no problems with you, me and you are okay. All right? In the Nation of Islam, we used to preach that all white people were devils.
Let's just leave that one there. There's no need to go any further than that. I'll leave all the questioning in the comments. Now we're going to get a bit. We're going to pick it up a bit. We're going to have a bit of fun. So it is the week that Game of Thrones returned. So this episode or this comedy thing is made by a American Sikh girl. She's a big YouTuber. So she's made an Indian version of Game of Thrones. Let's have a watch.
Do you think I should get an army? What about ships? And then we should cross the sea? More wine? To the Iron Throne. 100% real Valyrian steel. Or maybe you want knife. Real dragon glass.
Stuff is a knockoff. Yes. Promise.
You are in the presence of the Nairpreet Tarbachan, Queen of New Delhi, Master of Dandiya, Protector of Cows, Head of the Rail Gaddi, and Mother of Peacocks.
I would like to buy your ships. 100 bars of gold plus a dragon. I give you 20 bars of gold. Okay. 90 bars of gold plus a dragon. The shop down the street, they're selling for 60 bars of gold. Okay, 70 bars of gold. Okay, I give you 50 bars of gold plus 3 dothraki. 10 dothraki. We go to the shop. Let's go. No, ma'am, please, come. Okay, come, please. Okay, 100% handmade ships I'm giving you. I come here all the time. I'm loyal customer. Okay, listen. Last price, best special price for you. Okay, I'll give you 50 bar of gold. Okay, 1 dragon, 5 dothraki. Okay. Give him 40 bars of gold. Ma'am, please. You know, I come to King's Landing with 7 coin in my pocket. I walk from Winterfell in snow. No horse. Say you hope your brother has a long life. I hope my brother Jamie lives a very long life with his sister who loves him very much.
Happy Rakhi. The Lannisters have an army of 1 million.
How many people in our small village?
10 million.
Did you guys hear that? They said somebody has an army of 1 million, and she said, "How many people do we have in one of our small villages?" And he said 10 million. That's funny. Anyway, next video. Big up Sarah Lipper.
Heroes are not for them. They work for us and not for them. They work for us and not for them. He works for me and not for them. He works for me and not for them. He works for you and not for them. He works for you and not for them. She works for me and not for them. He works for me and not for them. He works for you and not for them.
You seem to have forgotten that. You seem to have forgotten who you were.
Indeed, police. You work for us and not for them. So it's voting in India, it's elections in India. And I just wanted to point out, look at this really weird way Indians queue. I mean, look how closely they are touching each other. That is not normal, is it? Oh, hi, Sarah Lipper. Thanks for that video. And this is the smallest woman in the world. She holds a Guinness World Record title for the shortest living woman. And she shows her ink-marked finger after casting her vote. And because there's a lot of vote rigging in India, you have to vote with your fingerprints. Only in India, right? Anyway, big up to these Punjabi Sikh guys for standing up for their country. And what I'm trying to show there is there's not a lot of support for Khalistan in India. So where is the support coming from? Here is the police queuing to vote. As you can see, they are very intimate in the very warm weather, but some of them seem to be enjoying it. Rajiv, I don't know why I posted that. No idea. Now, this is a bit weird. Now, at first take, it seems like these Indians are hurting the child, but in fact, they are Hindu devotees and they touch a baby with their feet as part of a ritual to bless him during a religious procession held to mark the Gajan festival in Kolkata, India. A bit weird. But this is an interesting photograph because this is in fact a Nazi sign. And no, it's not a Indian swastika sign. It's actually, we'll get to it. There you go, look. So that's the sign there. And this was the Third Reich occult history, and it's exactly the same. Look, can you see? It's not reversed, and that's a cake decoration for Modi. Anyway, blah blah. What's this here? Russia warns new world order being formed. One for the conspiracy theorists. Russia warns. Oh, that. Demographic doom, number of children per household is collapsing. If you like reading financial reports, read this one, and it just shows how the number of children per household is dropping drastically. Russophobia, religion and simulation. Bah, bah, bah. What else we got? What? Oh, this is a good video. Let's watch this.
I think the real issue is the sheer indiscriminacy of what he did, and indeed what you did. The leaks covered huge areas of genuine security. There is no accident that one of those who was involved, Ed Snowden, is now in refuge in Moscow. To make an equivalence between, as I'm afraid, and Jeremy Corbyn does, between us and as it were, the West and Russia and China is monstrous. I find, again, the tweet from Corbyn shameful. Here is a man who invariably sides with the enemies of Britain, who sides with terrorists repeatedly, who supports regimes which commit outrages. The only outrages he's interested in are a tiny little fragment that suit his political agenda.
Shouldn't we, as British citizens, be holding our own government to account? Because I remember when I saw some of the material that WikiLeaks published, I remember with the Afghan war logs in particular, seeing civilians being shot down as though it's a video game. And I remember the disgust that I felt at that moment in time. It was undoubtedly in the public interest for us to know what is being done in our names. That's why Jeremy Corbyn is correct to speak on it, and that's why all of us should be able to separate our personal feelings for Julian Assange from the legal process that he is now facing for shining a light on that
I'm
wrongdoing.
afraid modern war is horrible, and there's no point in pretending that it's anything else. There are invariably civilian casualties, and the attempt at pretending there can't be is silly, and particularly in dirty wars like Afghanistan. Look, I am second to none in my hatred of what happened in Iraq. I think our liberal interventions, that have been invariably couched as liberal interventions wherever they are, be it in Iraq, be it in Afghanistan, be it in Libya, have all been hate Britain, hate Britain's allies. They do, and will do everything to damage them.
Absolute nonsense.
On the contrary, the evidence is overwhelming.
I'm sorry.
Give me some evidence that I'm wrong.
Okay, all right, I can give you some evidence. The other week, I was at a talk
That's
where
called an
Jeremy
anecdote.
Anecdotes are a form of evidence, Professor Starkey.
Are they really?
Yes,
now,
they
isn't
are.
that fascinating? I thought you were an academic. Shall we move on to
Ash, I want to hear your anecdote.
This is, I think, a really damaging trend in our public discourse, which is if you criticise the way that Britain has been run by elites, the outrages that have committed in our name, you are cast somehow as a Britain hater, rather than someone who wants our country to be run better in a more just way, in a more egalitarian way. And the reason why I think Jeremy Corbyn most certainly doesn't hate Britain is because I listened to him at a talk just the other week and watched him celebrate the history of the abolition of slavery, the trade union movement, the Chartists. That's not someone who hates British history or tradition, rather someone who's interested in preserving the best aspects of it.
Is that the best aspect? There are 1,000 aspects of our history. And again, this brutal selectivity.
Oh, I don't know. So there's this video that somebody sent me, and it's a migrant lady, bless her, and she's mowing the lawn. Oh my god! She's mowing the lawn, but she hasn't plugged in the electric lawnmower. I don't know if you guys can see that. Anyway, I thought that was funny. World funniest flight attendant. Yeah, let's watch it. If it's not funny, I'm going to stop it.
If you do decide you will not be allowed access back on board, and parachutes are not included. Here at Frontier Airlines, we like to keep up with all the latest fashion trends. In the event that this flight becomes a cruise, all of you lucky people get your own itsy-bitsy, teeny-weeny, yellow polka dot bikinis beneath your seat. Minus the itsy-bitsy, teeny-weeny, and you get no polka dots. Once you're outside the aircraft, pull down sharply on the red tab that's on the front, or for those of you who love to make life difficult, you can blow into that red tube near your shoulder to bloat. I mean inflate. The beautiful bikini is equipped with a water-activated light. How in the world that works, I have no idea. So if you figure it out, please do let me know. And if by chance yours does not inflate, well, grab your neighbor and hold on for dear life. The location and use of life vests for your child that shows the most potential is located in that safety information card. If needed due to a loss of cabin pressure, 4 oxygen masks will drop from a compartment over your head. Ignore those and grab your nearest flight attendant to get some air. I'm just kidding. I'm so lonely. Once you stop screaming, place that mask over your nose and your mouth. To adjust, pull on the elastic tabs on either side. Make sure to adjust your own mask before assisting your favorite child, another passenger, or your husband who's definitely screaming louder than you are. And let's be honest, only those of you that pay the extra $49.99 get any oxygen. Smoking of any kind is not allowed on the aircraft, unless you're like me and you're smoking hot. Thank you so much for your attention. Sit back, relax, and enjoy your flight to Colorado Springs. And for those of you who...
There you go. Tara Lipper, another good video.
These are some of the 751 MEPs that make up this place. And when you walk around, what you realise is that MEPs are like the queen bee in the hive. What they say goes, and each one of them has like 4 or 5 staff. They have money to run that office. They are paid 306, I think, euros a day in expenses that they get, and they don't have to provide any receipts for any of those expenses. And they're paid between 8 and 14,000 euros a month. They take that home without paying any tax on it whatsoever. It really is a racket in this place. You get a pension as well, and when you leave, you get something called a golden parachute, and the golden parachute helps you, exit yourself into the real world. Sometimes I think, do we want to give them a golden parachute or just a golden shower to say goodbye?
Do we want to give them a golden parachute or a golden shower? Right, so apparently a new Star Wars trailer was released, and this is the reaction of this Muppet.
So this guy's emotional reaction to the new Star Wars trailer has gone viral.
What? Yes. Oh my God.
A version posted on Twitter already has over 500,000 views. And please don't harass him or leave nasty comments, because that's not what this video is about. What it does do is serve as a reminder that we live in an age of emotional incontinence. As Theodore Dalrymple wrote, we live in an age of emotional incontinence. When they who emote the most are believed to feel the most. But doesn't crying over such superficial and trivial things cheapen the authenticity of emotional expression? Doesn't this cultural pressure
Now really, Speaker's Corner suffers from the same. Whoever screams the loudest gets their point across. I don't know why I posted this video here, but we're watching it, so get ready.
I was dreaming, but should have been with you instead. Wake me up before you go. Don't leave me hanging on like a yo-yo. Wake me up before you go. I don't wanna miss it when you hit that high. Wake me up before you go. Cause I'm not planning on going solo. Wake me up before you go. Take me dancing tonight. I wanna hit that high. Yeah, baby.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure what I posted that there. Amazon is flooded by fake 5-star reviews, no surprise. China using AI to identify Muslims across the country. So I think that's facial recognition. Don't know why I posted that. What's this? Why aren't Amazon, Google being charged with recording customers? Agreed. Agreed. You get ready for my ugly mug. Bang! Get away from the cookie jar. God damn! All right, let's. Okay, let's not close that down. So what you guys been talking about? What do you? I know. I don't know why that came up. I have no idea what was going through my mind. Ooh. So guys, I've had my run. You want to watch another music video before I go? What do you reckon? Good idea. Don't they wear face veils in China? I don't think they do. What is so brave about going to a public place? You sound oppressed. Are you okay? What? Oh, that's the raindrop. Raindrop taking on everybody in the chat as normal. Okay, let's play. Let's play music video. Let's play music video now. That's my Birmingham accent. Boom. What shall we do? Let's do this one. I'm going to play 2, and then I'm going to wrap up, I think. I might come back. I don't know. Hello.
What would I do without your smart mouth? Drawing me in and you kicking me out. Got my head spinning, no kidding, I can't pin you down. What's going on in that beautiful mind? I'm on your magical mystery ride, and I'm so dizzy, don't know what it means, but I'll be alright. My hands underwater, but I'm breathing fine. You're crazy and I'm out in my mind, 'cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning, even when I lose and win, 'cause I give you all of me.
Monsters are dangerous, and just now, kings are dying like flies.
I am the king.
Fuck the king.
Knowledge is power.
Right, guys. I think is. I've listened to a lot of music today. I've got some reading to do now. Got to do it. Okay, people. Unless you have any further questions, I shall wrap. Oh, Jupiter. What do you think of Jupiter? Jupiter's asking me. Sorry. What do you think of Shemaiah getting legal aid? Oh, that's a good question. Look, I think this issue with this Muslim lady, she's a lady now, right, is complicated, because to have that type of mentality, it can't be all her fault, 'cause she was a child essentially. So I think her parents are to blame to some degree, especially when we consider that there were reports that the father was involved in supporting certain extreme groups. Now, I've actually gone out of my way and I've researched people that have joined extreme Muslim groups and then come back. And one of the things that they say is they didn't have a lot of love in their life, like parental love and, affection, and people didn't really care and they were very angry. And that a little bit of compassion would go a long way. Now, before you all jump down at my throat, just hear me out. If she had shown regret and remorse, I would be open to the suggestion that to bring her back and de-radicalize her. But because she hasn't, we can't help her. So as a consequence, allowing her to take benefit of taxpayers' money is wrong. So I think instead, I don't know. I might be just being too nice. I don't know. I just think it's complicated. But she's the enemy of the state. She's the enemy of the country. That's for sure. Oh, why are so many messages deleted? Call me saying don't swear in that manner. And hasn't got it. She has been allowed to apply for legal aid. Interesting. Okay. There you go. That's my answer. Is there anything else? People, gonna love you and leave you. I am going to. Oh, Mrs. Banksy's just joined. Hello. Agreed, and your reasoning is sound. Thank you, Jupiter. If she does get it, then it should be repaid if her application is successful. Agreed. Sorry, Manny, 72 I can get some my wick. Okay, well, this is what I said to Iros earlier as well. Like, you guys need to. It's all right to fall out. It's all part of Discord, but you know, we're not the gutter class on this channel. We're trying not to be. So swearing at to each other's mothers and sisters or whatever it is, the things that some of you use is will not be tolerated. You know, we're not. We don't abide by those things. What will you be reading, Manny? I'm reading a document about the workings of a system. Could that sound any more boring? I tell you what I did want to do. Un momento, I'm just going to reach down there and I've got a little. I'll tell you what I do want to do. Some of my books I'm reading. I want to do a show where we discuss why people get ill. But I need people who have issues, right? So, for example, according to Julia Cannon in her book Soul Speak, that there is a reason behind why you have certain health issues. For example, if you have hepatitis, you are angry at a toxic situation. Okay? If you have impotence, some of you may have, feeling the victim, issues with masculinity, overpowered by a female, vow of celibacy in a past life. Flu, feeling vulnerable, a victim needing a rest, obviously. Talk some rubbish. Anyway, so that's that book. But there's another one. Metaphysical Anatomy. This is written by a South African lady, Yvette Rose. She's awesome, very intelligent, nearly as intelligent as she's intelligent. So she's gone a little bit more, she's done proper research. I mean, look at the size of that bloody thing. What's she saying? I mean, let's pick a. Come on, it's too complex, man. Let's pick something that you guys are going to understand because you're all thick. Yes, I've got one in the house. Which one? This one? Blah, blah. So she believes that every illness that you have is related to an emotion. Thought how to. Sorry, guys. So addictions to say activity and sports. So people who are addicted. Oh no! Look, I'm gonna have to prepare. I'm gonna have to prepare for that video. So that's one video we can do. Go through those two books. So you guys could tell me what's wrong with you. So you might say, Manny, I only have 2 brain cells, and I would look up the book and say, you have 2 brain cells because somebody dropped you as a child. Only joking. So, okay. Oh. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna go chill. So, to wrap it all up, immigrants have to come here to work and contribute to society. It's not racist to say that we need more taxpayers than leeches, because we all become poor. I don't want to be poor. Do you want to be poor?